What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Switch Talk 2, the perfectly pocket sized podcast for fans of this amazing hybrid console that has stolen our hearts and minds, the Switch 2. My name's Antonio, aka Hypecaster, and I'm here with my best bud, Clay Miraculous Howard. I was asking you about cozy games. So my get to know you question would be, what would you say your relationship is with cozy games, and which one would you say is like peak cozy game for you?
Ooh, yeah, that's a tough one, but yeah. So I don't know if I was always a cozy gamer or a fan of cozy games, whatever you want to say. But as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate it a little bit more. I've never been a huge fan of like uber difficult games. I from time to time will play them. Some of my favorite games in the world. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, I would say is like a harder game. But to answer your question, as I got older and I started enjoying adult, uh, uh, I don't know how you would say it, adult things that adults enjoy partaking in. I got more chill, and I like to be able to sit down on my couch and play a game and not be stressed or not have to push myself to my limits, but just be able to sit there and kind of relax. And I think Minecraft, is mostly a cozy game.
Yeah, I would put
Um,
Minecraft in that. There's a zenness to it, and I like that. But I tend to like gravitate toward challenging games. So it's just interesting to me how much you are, into the genre, and it's a variety, right? It's not just one thing. Like maybe it's a little bit of a puzzle thing, but it's at your own pace, like the can't fail mode in Tetris. What was the really good Tetris game that came out? Um, that had a interesting art style, and it was like a vibe, and they had modes. Bejeweled was another one. Is would be like
mm,
a top kind of cozy game, but it's a puzzle game, so it's a mix of genres. I never got into Stardew Valley, but I think that's a top one for
yeah,
people. And of course, I think Animal Crossing is for sure,
yeah.
a cozy game. And that's what we're going to talk about today is
Animal
Pokemon,
Crossing.
the clone of Animal
So,
Crossing, as
sorry.
if a Pikachu jumped inside and possessed Animal Crossing. Pokemon Pokopia, I think is how you say it, is a social simulation sandbox adventure developed by Game Freak and Omega Force, published by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. And it released on March 5th, exclusively for the Switch, too. A lot of people were saying that it's so highly regarded. It sold 2.2 million copies in the first 4 days. It was it defied expectations, and a lot of people like said they bought systems for this. But that's like the sign of like true Pokemon fans. Like the franchise sells systems many times, and it just so happens that when you put that secret sauce, that amazingness of like a mix of Stardew Valley and Minecraft and all that together with the Pokemon skin, it works out. I really enjoy this game a lot more than I ever thought I would. What are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't take very long before I was like, okay, yeah, I can see where the hype is because I don't think most of the masses, if I can speak for on everyone's behalf here, I don't think a lot of us had huge expectations for this. I
Yeah.
think there were like I think the diehard Pokemon and like Animal Crossing fans were probably stoked, but I think the rest of us were kind of like, oh, that could be good. Hopefully it's good. And then all of a sudden, like I literally remember seeing articles is like Pokopia is actually good. Like, holy
Yeah.
crap. And like people are kind of surprised. And so if I hadn't heard all of that, I probably would have been like blown away with how much because I would have gone into this with low expectations. And
Same.
I'll tell you, Tony, what I told you and David when I was like on the fence about getting it. I was like, I don't I don't dislike these types of games. I've literally only played one Animal Crossing game, like I would say like fully played it. Like I've played the GameCube original a couple times, but the 3DS one, I
Oh
forget what
yeah,
I forget
was
the
it the home one? Was it
Happy
or
Home.
there was no,
Not
oh,
the
I love the logo too. I have the
Yeah.
logo etched in my mind, but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah,
Someone's listening and hates us right now. But
yeah,
anyway, that one I got super addicted to. I played it at work because I worked this boring job where I just sat at a desk all day and did nothing. And so I started playing it, and I would come in and every day I would do my tasks, for a little bit in there. And like, so I finally started to see what Animal Crossing was. Anyway, what I told Tony and David was, I'm just not really feeling like a home design, all of that right now. I'm not feeling that kind of game. And so, not that it didn't look good to me, and all the hype, I was like, oh, this is really good. Like, and so I knew it was going to be a good game going in. But anyway, long story short, Tony and David were nice enough and got me this for my birthday, which is coming up here in a couple weeks. And so they were nice enough to get this for me. And so I had no excuse not to jump in. And man, to answer your question finally, with all that preamble, I'm having a great time, man. I'm loving it. Um, I I kind of hit a weird patch, and we can talk about this a little bit later if we need to. But um, I really was enjoying the first, I don't know, 5 to 10. I don't know how many hours I have in this. Yeah, I need to check my thing. But the first like 5 to 10 hours of this game I loved, and then like hours 10 to 20, where they kind of get less handholdy.
mhm.
I kind of missed my hand being held, which is weird
No,
because I
I
literally
know exactly what you
okay,
mean.
because
I know exactly what you mean,
I
yeah,
just complained like not that long ago when we reviewed Pokemon Z to A that it was way too handholdy and they
yeah,
wouldn't just let me go do my thing. But it was like I liked just knowing, all right, now go do this, now go do this. These
yeah,
small little tasks, and some people maybe get annoyed by those, but it's just like I'm still getting a feel for the game, and so I want them. But as soon as you open up the second area and you go into that, you kind of get an idea of what you need to repeat, but it just kind of lets you roll. And I was like, I ended up having to Google a lot of things, which I don't mind doing. And I kind of enjoy that. I like doing research and watching YouTube videos and all this. But it was like, okay, I need electricity. Like, is the game going to naturally take me there? Or do I need to take it into my own hands to figure that out? Just not trying to spoil things, but it's just that example of it got a little unclear for me, and maybe I'm just missing things and I'm daft, and it could
mhm.
be. But when you're just chilling at home and you just want to do stuff, at a certain point it kind of felt like I should know what to do by this point, but I don't feel like I actually do. And so I don't know, maybe I'm just dumb. But
No, I had the same thing. What you're talking about is in the beginning of this game, you have to watch the gameplay, so watch the YouTube version, but for those listening audio, you play as a Ditto that's like looks like a human because it wants to, but you're still a Pokemon, so you can talk to all the Pokemon, and the Pokemon are your townspeople. And it gives you tasks based on like the Professor Tangela or whatever, and they're giving you missions. And the dopamine hit, we talked about dopamine last episode, is so strong where it's like unlocking new stuff for you to buy. Here's a little quest, like do this. And like one thing that, I'll probably touch on more later is like I didn't realize how much I would care about the Pokemon talking back to you, being grateful to you, being friends with you. You do something nice and it's just like you realize I'm doing something nice for Squirtle. And not only that, like I like Squirtle. I like the way he talks and like what he has to say. And like people are giving you things, you're giving them things, like just helping each other. You play little mini games with them, like the characters like Animal Crossing, they are so much about their characters, but I don't feel any connection to like who's that guy who plays the guitar in Animal Crossing, JJ Slider, and like
yeah.
Annabelle. Like I think they look cool, but Annabelle, like, or whatever, like none of these characters I think they weren't like as in depth,
Well,
but
and
because we
you
play
don't have
Pokemon.
history with them. you
Yeah,
know? And so I'm sure if you play every Animal Crossing game and you get to know
that's
these
true.
characters, when
Over a
you see them
decade.
show back up, you're like, "You're that one's here." But you're right. For somebody who's not a diehard Animal Crossing person, I don't know who this llama character is. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
know, there's the main ones that you kind of get to know their personalities, but you're right. But with Pokemon, we have games, lots of games with these characters. I can't tell you how many games I've played with Bulbasaur in my life because he's been my boy from day one. And so anytime I get a Pokemon game, if there's a way to get a Bulbasaur, I'm gonna get one and I'm gonna evolve him up to Ivy's or Venusaur. And like, so yeah, you're right. I never thought about that, but there's already like, oh, I love Venusaur, I love Oddish, I love Onyx. As soon as I meet them, I'm like, I want to give them everything they need, and it brings something out of you because I've known this character since I was a little kid. Like I played Pokemon Red when I was a little child, so the history of these characters is pretty powerful.
Was there a Pokemon that when you discovered them and they show up that you were just like, oh, like more excited than you thought you would be? Because just to give you an example, for me, when I saw like an onyx, for instance, because my thoughts were like, what's the scale going to be? Because that's one of the fun things of Pokemon. Like some of the Pokemon are really big, some are really small. Like, what version am I going to get in this game? So now that we've gone 3D and you're like walking like next to them and they're flying around and walking around, like it's just so cool, or floating around, like they're acting like they should kind of in the like animation. So Onyx like was one for me. Was there any Pokemon for you that was like you were happy about or
Y-
excited?
Yeah, so you took Onyx for me, which is totally
Oh, it was
fine.
Onyx. Isn't that
Uh,
weird then? Isn't that
yeah,
weird? Okay. Was it for
but
the same reason that he was just bigger or like
yeah, and just the
kind
fact
of?
that I
He
just
looked
don't know.
cool.
Like I don't know if people like Onyx. I like Onyx, but he's
Oh,
never
you
been
like
like
Onyx fan. No, Onyx is
I'm
cool,
but
man.
he's like not really good in the games, at least like the ones I've played.
Well, yeah. I
Like
mean,
when
his
I look him
rock
up, they're like
types aren't going to be good, man. Everybody knows
right.
this. You
But
know what I'm saying?
Oddish would be my other one.
Oh, Oddish is
I did
cool.
not expect to see Oddish that soon. Vileplume is technically like my second, like third favorite Pokemon, but
Oh, that's
Oddish
cool.
is up there too. I haven't found uh Dragonite yet. He's my second favorite. So
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah,
think
Dragonite's
I'm
fun.
99% sure he's in this game. So I'm excited and I hope that he shows up. I'm pretty sure he is. So
I the other mini story is Lily was playing. She calls it the Ditto game. She's a really big
nice.
fan of Ditto. She's like Ditto, Ditto, and like she likes turning into him because if you go like into a crevice, he'll turn into like Ditto form
So
instead
she
of
tries
human
to do
form.
that.
And she does it. She's like Ditto, Ditto, and I'm like, she just loves it. So she calls it the Ditto game. He's so popular. She found a Charizard on her own. I don't know
Dang.
how or what. Like, to talk a little bit about the gameplay, uh, the real crux of it is that in order for Pokemon to appear, you lay down items or plots of land in a particular order. So it's like encouraging you to build the world and then you create a habitat. So a habitat could just be like four grass tiles together, or you could do like two candles on a table or a plate with an apple on it, like like a place setting, like little scenes almost. And this idea keeps evolving, and if you think of Minecraft or you think of Animal Crossing, the items that you have, the things that you build with, become the way to summon basically the Pokemon, and you don't know which ones are going to pop out of either the grass or who are going to appear in that area. What did you think about that? Because I didn't know about how they were gonna do this, and I don't think enough people talk about. Is this a it's a it's an interesting idea. Have you played any games where this is the gameplay, like creating items into a nest for to be a home for an animal? Like, is this new or am I crazy? Like,
I mean, outside of the parallels you can find with Animal Crossing, not that I can think of.
yeah, so it was a cool idea. What did you think of the basic gameplay? What do you think of the building, the items? Are you doing a lot of terraforming?
So I haven't even scratched the surface of terraforming yet. That was awful. But it was.
It's one of my main things I do.
Oh,
Everything's
really?
made out
I
of blocks like
okay.
Minecraft, and you can mess with water. Like you can take a stream and like put blocks in a way that makes it like run a certain way. You can create like, if you want to, like steps, houses, basic houses, with the blocks. And then there's the items, so like furniture, walls and wallpaper type stuff. Like it's so interesting how deep they went into like the Animal Crossing and the Minecraft systems. But I love the Minecraft stuff. Like there's a lot of hidden stuff around the world, so you just keep exploring. That's one of my favorite bits. What did you think of the scale of this game? Like, to me, that's one of the things that blew me away.
Yeah, it's definitely bigger than I thought it was. I don't know if that's a Switch 2 thing, the fact that we can,
It
they
runs smooth as butter. I need to say
yeah.
that before I forget. If this episode ended without me saying how effortless and responsive everything feels. Nothing's chugging, there's no slow menus, there's no slow, you got a decent run to you, and then, stuff, you unlock ways to get around and stuff. It's really good.
Yeah, I if if there if there wasn't walls with loading screens to load into everything and it was all open world, I think that would have been like
Yeah.
monumentally, like it would have been a huge deal. Like it would have been all over the news, and like we probably wouldn't, like we would have already gone in knowing it. And so I
I don't
realized,
like the houses when you load into a house, like, or a hut or like something like that, and then it's all small inside. I hate it.
okay,
Don't like it.
um, but I don't care that it's broken up into areas. But yes, there's been a couple times where I wasn't even supposed to go into an area, but I just like climbed over it and dropped down into it. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, this is like, and so when I was discovering these places, I was like, oh, this is pretty big. And then when you unlock that second area, that's when I was like, holy cow. Yeah, there's no short. Cause at first I was like, oh, this is kind of small. The first area you're in, at first I had literally had the thought, like, is this it? But then I saw there was like branching paths. I was like, okay, there's more, but
Yes.
it still felt kind of small at that point. But then
Hmm.
when you open that second area and you go through into there, and you like start walking around, it's like it's a little overwhelming how big it is, honestly.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if the next areas are any bigger or smaller, but I'll be curious to see what else there is and how much more scale there is. So
Going back to that first thing we were talking about the pacing, like the dopamine hits of like, hey, unlock these new items, you do this, build this, but then you go into the next area, and then it's kind of like, okay, you not only could you still do that loop, but we're going to give you some new stuff to do, or like a gimmick or something. It's just like, it kept me engaged. But the issue then is that it also gives you a gigantic canvas, and it's like, oh, like I could do what I want. And again, you'd have to be into the terraforming at that point, but you could like really, you have a wide open palette to do whatever you want with the land and the objects and the structures. Like, as soon as it started clicking to me, because I was gonna say we should do spoilers, but no spoilers. We've been, careful about not giving away like the hugest stuff, but just the themes and the story and the way that it's, why things are the way they are. I'm like, whoa, like that's actually kind of cool. And that got me more than I ever thought a game like this would get me. Like, the setup and the lore, I guess, that you find around in like little notes or pictures. It's just like, if somebody told you like post-apocalyptic, like Pokemon like type wasteland that you repair, like it's just crazy. Go ahead, Clay.
I had this thought today, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to like figure this out or make this thought, but I just haven't seen anyone say anything about this. Imagine your Nintendo or Pokemon company, and all this is years ago. They're in development of Pokopia, and they're getting ready to put the final touches on this game, when all of a sudden this little indie game comes out called Pal World, where you get to run around and capture little monsters, and then you can build a base, and you can put down furniture and all these things, and then you can take your monsters and you can either put them to work in your little village, or you can take them with you and they'll run around with you, and you can use their abilities to do different things.
You just put two and two together.
I did. The lawsuit thing felt really dumb. It was just like, what? Like, obviously it felt like a Pokemon like jab to make that game, but the fact they even went to core, I was like, why? Why did they care? I was just,
Yeah.
the fact that they would ever make a Pokemon game that you need to craft and all this stuff, it was just like they're not going to do that. And also, I saw this, and also I'm like, oh, okay, that's why they're mad because
Yeah.
there's a
Um,
lot of parallels between the two. If you
I
compare this game with that game, I don't know, just a random.
It no, it's amazing because like, I was, like, obtuse about it. I didn't put that connection together, but it's totally legit. At the same time, it's like, not only is it incredibly similar, and I'm surprised, I didn't think of it, but also feels way different, like, the magic really is there, like you said, like we have history with these guys, like because Palworld was really cool. Dig the visuals, like of the characters. Just a lot of things about that game really clicked with me. So, um, yeah, I can see that being like, yeah, it's right there. This is one of the best reviewed Pokemon games. Definitely, and then it actually made a lot of, this might be like the top, if not the top 3 spin-off franchises from like the mainline games. So I can totally see why it's got me. I keep playing. I play until the battery runs out a lot of times. I'll play, on the big screen. Like I said, I'm able to play with my daughter, and it's just like, I didn't know that I would like, because I'm into like competitive shooters, like battle royales, harder games, and this one is just like a cozy game that is a mix of the best stuff of Animal Crossing. Like, that was another thought I had. Animal Crossing is in trouble if they don't like stop with this. It has to be slow and clunky. Everything is like a loading screen. Like, it's so hard to do anything in that game, whereas here it's like so effortless and so, like, there's no barriers. It's like, have fun, do whatever you want. Like, we've given you open space, we've given you things to do. It's like, it's so well done in everything that it tries to do. Animal Crossing's in trouble if they don't like evolve, pun intended, like this game has. uh the one thing I want to say before, we wrap up, is the little things in this game are what really make it stand out. The amount of care that goes into the interactions between the characters. There are details where it's like you have to know Pokemon lore, and like that this Pokemon likes this and that's why it does this in the game. Like, it's not lazy, it's deep. They made all these little tweaks make it seem like the world is alive way more than I thought it would. Every time these type of little things came up, I had the same thought. They didn't have to do that. That's extra. Like, they put extra effort in here. Any closing thoughts about the game? Any good, any
I agree
bad?
with you. I think honestly, this experience seems very polished to me. They've thought through a lot of things, and I think they've done a really good job. Every now and then, I'm like, this is probably not going to work, and then it does. I
Yes, I
like
had that thought too. That
right.
same, "This is not going to work." Yeah, and it
And
works. It's
so
crazy.
they nailed that. Um, just man, the music is maybe my one hang up I have right now, where it feels a little too repetitive. It does change, but it depends on the time of day. It depends on what area you're in. But when you're stuck in that first area and you're like playing in the middle of the day, you literally hear the same song over and over and over again. And maybe
Yeah,
I'm missing something, maybe there's something I don't know. That's probably my one negative, honestly. And it's not even a really bad one. It's a decent song. It's actually kind of a witty remix of um, the Pokemon Center like theme song. They kind of work that melody in, which is really nice. And so like it's not terrible, but like even my wife, as I was playing, she's like humming along like like after barely playing it, she was like, "I've already got this memorized," and I was like, "Yeah." And so I don't know. Hopefully they'll add some more music over time and just give it a little more variety, but. That's the one negative I had. One thing I did appreciate too, that I like about this game is the controls. Uh, they're not completely the most intuitive at first, but once you get to like understand them better, I appreciate the way they did them. They didn't just put everything on the A button. They used the Y button too, but then also when you're supposed to pick up something with like the Y button, sometimes you can just use the A button too and it like knows what you mean. But I just appreciate that everything is pretty well thought through. There's a way that you can change how your like abilities work, and you can get like a little mini item bar at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah,
Have
yeah,
you turned
I've
that
done.
on?
I don't like it, so I turned it back off.
Okay. I, I like it and I keep it on. I think it's more for when you're like doing like
When
monotonous
you're
building.
actively,
Yeah, and
yeah,
you're like,
doing it,
all
I
right,
could see that. Yeah,
mud block, concrete block, mud block,
yeah,
and you just need to go
yeah,
back and forth real fast.
yeah.
But I like it because then it puts it changes how your abilities can be accessed, and I like that about it. It just feels like a better way of doing it, and so I just like that they have a couple different ways that you can set up your UI and set up your controls, and so I don't know. I just thought that was it was a nice touch. Everything feels very polished and Nintendo like. It doesn't feel like they're cutting corners or anything. So it's the hype is real for a reason for sure. So
I just looked something up that's spoiler a little bit for myself. It's like an exciting tidbit. It's just one more thing to look put a cherry on top, and I'll tell you once we go offline. But for anybody who's on the fence, something I talked to Adam a little bit about this. If you're like I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan, so like for Pokemaniacs, people who play every like mainline Pokemon game, play this game. Period.
hmm
Like, and
yeah,
even if you don't play Minecraft or Animal Crossing, I'm sure you already have it because again, people seem to have gone out and bought systems over this game, and I don't
yeah.
blame them. I would say that it's well worth the extremely full price. With the 69 or is this a 79? Oh my. I'm gonna
Uh,
look. I'm gonna look right now, double check.
I think
69.99. I thought it
yeah,
was $80. Oh my god. God forbid. 69.99, and it's worth it. It's worth it. The quality is here. This is just one of those titles. Any other closing thoughts?
no. I mean, if we can't convince you at this point, I don't know what will. But
Yeah, no, this is a when the Switch 2 goes and they do their swan song in like 8 years or whatever it's going to be for this system, this is like it's going to be one of the best. I already know that because it's just such a solid game. You don't want to oversell it, but it's really fun. Any fans of Pokemon or any of these genres, give it a try.
agree.
We're gonna be playing another Pokemon game, Pokemon Champions. I think it's free to start. Arena Battler has some online elements. Who knows if it'll be our next multiplayer obsession? We don't know. I mean, it'd be cool if it caught on like a Pokemon Go type thing, but I just don't know. We'll see what the appetite is for Pokemon Coliseum like gameplay in 2026. We'll see you next time, everybody.